We are kicking off this week with the new Bloodline being blindsided by a vicious attack they never saw coming. However, one key member of the group was notably absent from the beatdown. Everything broke down in the parking lot for this show as Jacob Fatu dragged Solo Sikoa out of his car as he arrived at the building. Fatu unleashed a brutal attack on his former friend until the numbers caught up with him. Tonga Loa tried to help, yet was hilariously slammed into a bus. Meanwhile, JC Mateo took a beating as well. However, the group's newest member, Hikuleo, was nowhere to be seen. Fatu was visibly angry after losing his title in Riyadh, with many believing he was screwed out of the title. Sikoa had used the numbers advantage in that match, but it appears that was only the beginning of the war between these two men. Nick Aldis was unimpressed by the chaos he saw and looked to get on top of it by giving Fatu a chance to settle the score inside of the ring if he could find a tag team partner. That's precisely what he did in the form of Jimmy Uso, who immediately stepped up behind his cousin as they reunited to face Sikoa and Mateo in the most intense match of the night. Jimmy and Mateo did a lot of the heavy lifting in this match early on, although the arena became unglued when Fatu and Sikoa finally faced off, proving that this rivalry is heating up nicely. Fatu's babyface turn was worked perfectly without altering his character, and he gave fans plenty to cheer about as he won by pinning Solo after a moonsault. Fatu and Jimmy had no time to celebrate though, as Tala Tonga shocked the world by making his debut. He attacked Fatu while Tonga Loa ambushed Jimmy, and the numbers game immediately took charge of the situation. The new Bloodline had too much for Fatu and Uso to handle as Fatu was slammed through the announce table. It led to Solo's group standing tall, snatching a moral victory despite the defeat. Tala Tonga had been officially added to the group now known as MFT or My Family Tree earlier in the night, and Sikoa directly told the camera, "Now my family is complete," after they destroyed Fatu and Uso. While it was apparent what Sikoa was trying to say at that moment, his comment got a lot of fans thinking, as Tama Tonga is currently nowhere to be seen. He's been sidelined with an injury, and Sikoa hasn't mentioned him at all. Given that he's now declared his family complete, it begs the question of whether Tama Tonga has been quietly removed from the group. Could he end up shocking everyone by siding with Fatu down the line? Or is WWE building toward a surprise return to shake things up? Regardless, his status is adding to the growing speculation surrounding this storyline, and whether people like it or not, MFT is here in WWE, and Sikoa has raised the danger levels in WWE. What are your reactions to Tala Tonga's debut, Tama Tonga being left out, and the evolving war between Fatu and the new Bloodline? Share your thoughts in the comments. WWE Smackdown kicked off with Cody Rhodes this week, who was met with a mammoth ovation from the WWE Universe as he looked to celebrate his King of the Ring win. However, that didn't last long as Randy Orton cut him off. The Viper looked to break down their match and admitted to the fans that he could not bring himself to deliver the punt kick to Rhodes within their match. That would have been the final blow that won it for him, yet he couldn't do it to his friend. While Orton was visibly frustrated with himself, he demanded that Rhodes promise that he would take down John Cena at SummerSlam. However, before Rhodes could respond, Drew McIntyre's music hit to make his emphatic return to WWE. The Scotsman wasted no time verbally assaulting Orton, claiming he'd lost the mental game to Rhodes long before they'd competed against each other at Night of Champions. McIntyre pointed out that Cody had no problem attacking Orton's surgically repaired back, yet he flinched at delivering the punt kick when it mattered most. Drew believes that this hesitation has marked the end of his entire career. However, McIntyre does have something in common with Orton, and that's his desire to see Rhodes beat Cena. Although that's purely for selfish reasons, as he told Rhodes he wants to be the one to tear it away from him. McIntyre boldly claimed that, "I won't hesitate, unlike somebody," in reference to Orton, but just moments later the Scotsman would turn around into a thunderous RKO, with the Viper showing no hesitation at all. In a slightly hilarious side note, many eagle-eyed fans noticed the King of the Ring crown itself, which appeared to be massively oversized, as if it would swallow Rhodes' head if he had put it on. The issues between McIntyre and Orton were far from over though. Later in the night, McIntyre demanded a match against him. Unfortunately, Orton had already left the building. However, Nick Aldis made it official for Saturday night's main event instead. Do you think Drew McIntyre is right about Randy Orton losing his edge? Let us know in the comments. Enjoying the video? A quick like goes a long way in helping us grow and deliver more wrestling news you care about. Over in the women's division, Charlotte Flair was shown talking to Nick Aldis about her spot on Evolution, and the general manager revealed he had an idea for her. That was to team up with someone in a three-way tag team match against the Secret Hervis and the team of Michin and B-Fab, with the winning team representing the blue brand in the Fatal 4-Way for the tag team titles at Evolution. Alexa Bliss then appeared and suggested they become a tag team as they both want a title run right now, and while the Queen wasn't overly impressed by the idea, she eventually agreed. The match itself saw Flair and Bliss trying to one-up one another as they dominated the match without being on the same page. That continued all the way up until the finish, where Flair hit a moonsault to Piper Niven and Alba Fire. She had tapped Bliss on the head in a mocking manner as she scaled the ropes, but it was Bliss who got the win by delivering Twisted Bliss to Niven and Fire as they booked their spot at Evolution. After the bell, Flair hugged her partner but immediately pulled away after catching herself, adding a moment of comedy as this unconventional duo proved they could work effectively together. While B-Fab lost this one, it was clear she's making massive improvements inside the ring. While she started a little sloppy, it quickly became clear that she gained momentum throughout. Charlotte Flair is a 14-time women's champion, but her frequent presence in the title picture has often drawn criticism from fans. Many have voiced concerns over her always being in contention regardless of the storyline. Now Flair has finally responded to those who question her constant spotlight. In an interview with WrestleZone, Flair addressed the criticism, pointing out that staying at the top is far more difficult than people realize. She noted that while she's been in the title scene multiple times, she's also lost 13 times, yet managed to return and reclaim her position each time. According to Flair, that alone reflects the immense effort, pressure, and commitment it takes to remain a top performer. She further emphasized that matches involving her always feel significant because of her consistency, passion, and love for the business. Flair clarified that her presence should be seen as a mark of dedication rather than favoritism. In her view, fans tune in because they want to see their favorite beat her, which adds meaning to every bout she's in. Flair also reflected on the milestones she's proud of throughout her career. She spoke about being part of landmark events such as the first all-women's pay-per-view, the first women's WrestleMania main event, and competing with a wide range of female wrestlers, all of which she considers major accomplishments. Her most recent title match took place at WrestleMania 41, where she faced Tiffany Stratton and came up short. Despite the loss, Flair remains confident that her track record and contributions justify her place in the title scene, and she doesn't expect that to change anytime soon. What's your take on Charlotte Flair always being in the title picture? Sound off with your thoughts in the comments below. With 9 days to go before Evolution 2, the card is starting to fill out, yet women's champion Tiffany Stratton is without a match. She looked to resolve that this week as she hit the ring to discuss the situation. Given that Io Sky chose her opponent, Stratton made it clear that she wanted to do the same, which led to Jade Cargill sending an ominous warning. The Queen of the Ring is next in line for a title shot after Evolution, and she told Stratton to choose wisely or you won't be at SummerSlam. That's when Stratton revealed she had a massive surprise up her sleeve. She had invited her Elimination Chamber tag team partner to the show, as Trish Stratus then made a shocking return to WWE. Stratton claimed it wouldn't be Evolution without Stratusfaction, revealing she's putting her title on the line against the Hall of Famer. The news left the WWE Universe amazed, but Cargill didn't share the same sentiment. The Queen of the Ring said it didn't matter who she faced at SummerSlam, while Stratus added an emotional edge to the upcoming title match by admitting her children have never seen her as a champion. Stratus thinks that 8-time champion has a good ring to it, although the current title holder reminded Stratus that it's no longer the Attitude Era, as WWE now runs on Tiffy time. Surprisingly, this will be Stratus's first singles title shot since Unforgiven 2006, where she defeated Lita in what was supposed to be her retirement match. However, she did defend the women's tag team titles as a replacement for Lita in April 2023, getting the chance to hold gold again. Stratus was also part of the original Evolution, where she teamed with Lita to defeat Mickie James and Alicia Fox. Now she gets to be part of the show again, only this time the stakes are significantly higher. Cargill was then shown backstage as she was ambushed by her former friend Naomi, Miss Money in the Bank, who attacked her with the briefcase, which she customized to be black with caution tape all over it and her name printed in the middle. It was the latest shot from Naomi and was the final straw for Cargill. She demanded a match against Naomi and Nick Aldis granted it, only this time he upped the stakes by making it a no-holds-barred match. Their last match was at WrestleMania 41, and the violence is guaranteed to be heightened this time. Given that there will be no rules in place, it should be a brutal match, as the most heated rivalry in the women's division is set to reach a new level. What do you think? Does Naomi versus Cargill deserve to be called the best women's feud of 2025? And who's your pick when the gloves come off? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Nick Aldis's busy night as general manager continued as he assembled a random team of Berto, Chris Sabin, Johnny Gargano, and Montez Ford to take on the Wyatt Six in an epic 8-man tag team match. This random team had a backstage segment together, yet they could not get on the same page before heading out to the ring. That allowed the Wyatts to dominate most of the encounter due to their experience as a unit. However, the babyface team got a few shots in, although it was all about the Wyatt Six. Interestingly, Sabin tried to tag in Gargano, only for him to abandon the Motor City Machine Gun star when he realized Eric Rowan was back on his feet. This will undoubtedly be followed up on down the line. The match did feature one fun moment between Gargano and Loomis. The two of them came together as commentary highlighted their shared history, while Gargano himself tried to tap into that side of Loomis by getting into his head. It appears that part of Loomis is gone though, as he remained cold and unshaken, which left Johnny Wrestling looking even more scared than before. Sabin ate the pinfall to wrap up a fun match with some good moments. However, it would have benefited from more time to tell the story, which would have featured more people. AEW news now is Jon Moxley's current run in AEW has drawn a wide range of reactions from fans, and it's not just the audience that's divided. Even fellow wrestlers have raised eyebrows at his promo style. One of them is Nick Nemeth, who didn't hold back during a recent appearance on Busted Open Radio, where he offered an honest take on Moxley's often unpredictable mic work. Nemeth didn't hold back, comparing Moxley's recent promo style to a modern-day version of the Ultimate Warrior. There was a long lull of time where I did not know what Moxley was talking about, Nemeth said. There was 2 or 3 months and I'm like, what is he saying? What does he do? Is it riddles? Is this deeper? Is he just crazy and just doing some like 2025 version of Ultimate Warrior promos? For longtime fans, the reference to the Ultimate Warrior hits hard. The Warrior was infamous for delivering wild, rambling promos that often made little sense, even to those sharing the ring with him. During his critique, Nemeth did acknowledge that Moxley's recent promos have shown improvement. He praised the shift toward more grounded and real storytelling, especially when Moxley talks about the heavy weight of being a world champion, the pressure, the pain, and the feeling of always being hunted. The discussion also highlighted Moxley's current heel run in AEW, where he's intentionally walking the line between villain and respected locker room leader. Even when fans boo, there's still a layer of admiration. As Nemeth noted, Moxley has saved the brand 3 different times. Still, that Ultimate Warrior comparison lingers. Whether you find Moxley's promos gripping or think he's speaking in riddles, one thing is clear: he always gives people something to talk about. Do you agree that Jon Moxley's recent promos feel like a modern-day Ultimate Warrior? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Elsewhere, the tag division was in full flow as Fenix and Andrade look to continue their new partnership by facing Axiom and Nathan Frazier, with Fenix and Andrade coming out on top to continue growing their momentum within the tag team division. Back to the upcoming Evolution event now, and Nikki Bella seemed set to face Liv Morgan at the forthcoming show before the Judgment Day star got hurt, and since then, plans have been up in the air with the Hall of Famer's status for the event. However, just because a match against Morgan is no longer possible due to her shoulder injury doesn't mean Nikki won't be part of the event. According to Wrestling Observer newsletter, there's a chance that the Bella twin will still be on the card. It's currently unknown who Nikki will end up sharing the ring with at Evolution, but all signs are pointing toward her having at least some role to play in the all-women's event. Speaking of talented women, Giulia was also on hand to deliver another mysterious vignette as she continues to build up her individual character in WWE, despite fans' concerns about how WWE is handling her. Giulia can break through in WWE if given the chance, and the women's United States title scene could do with that happening to keep establishing it. One way to do that is by getting her back into the ring, which is where she shines brightest. Tonight's show featured a lot of tag team matches, yet with Evolution right around the corner, it would have been smarter to dedicate more time to Giulia and setting up something meaningful for her on that show, which the title needs. As the dust settles on this week's episode of SmackDown, fans are already turning their attention to next week thanks to the stacked lineup WWE has announced in advance. The Wyatt Six are set to clash with the Street Profits in what will be a chaotic tag team match, while Aleister Black and R-Truth will aim to settle their issues in a singles match that might surprise a few people. What did you make of WWE Smackdown this week? Did it successfully build towards Saturday night's main event and Evolution at the same time? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Now, Sheamus has built his reputation on delivering hard-hitting, high-energy matches, and his showdown with Rusev on the June 30th episode of WWE Raw was no different. But while fans witnessed a physical war, some critics argued that the match lacked storytelling. Unsurprisingly, Sheamus didn't hold back in addressing those claims. During an appearance on Cheap Heat Live, Sheamus hit back at online fans and so-called wrestling experts who said his match with Rusev had no story. According to him, the real story was told inside the ring through the intensity of the fight itself. Sheamus made it clear that both he and Rusev knew exactly what they were doing out there. They poured everything into the performance and treated the match with the seriousness it deserved. He also pointed out that he doesn't control creative decisions, he doesn't book the matches or write the storylines. His job as a WWE superstar is to take whatever he's given and elevate it through performance. He admitted that mentioning the League of Nations in their promos was scripted, but it helped connect the match to real-life events. Sheamus brought up Rusev's departure from WWE and moved to AEW, along with the fact that Rusev targeted his neck, a nod to legitimate history between the two. Reflecting on the bout, Sheamus said he and Rusev were given 3 segments on Raw, and they knew they had to make it count. If that meant beating the hell out of each other to captivate the audience, they were ready to do it. For them, it's about passion, pride, and always aiming to steal the show. Sheamus added that unlike others who rely on lengthy promos to tell their stories, he and Rusev let their in-ring performance do the talking. They didn't need 20 minutes on the mic, they just needed a ring, heart, and the will to fight. They went all in, wore their emotions on their sleeves, and gave fans a real, raw performance. To Sheamus, the story wasn't just about words, it was about grit, emotion, and physical storytelling. He believes that the authenticity and toughness shown in the ring told a stronger story than any scripted promo ever could. And for the Celtic Warrior, that's what truly matters. And we're closing things out with a major headline from AEW as Tony Khan is hyping what he's calling the biggest US match in AEW history, Kenny Omega versus Kazuchika Okada. The two legends will collide at All In Texas on July 12th to crown the first ever unified AEW champion. Speaking to TMZ Sports, Khan called it a dream years in the making and praised AEW's partnership with New Japan Pro Wrestling, which now allows them to feature classic Omega vs. Okada footage in the build-up. This will be their first clash in an AEW ring on American soil, with both the international and continental titles on the line. Khan calls it one of the greatest rivalries in wrestling and believes the match is not just history, it's must-see.